Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. The IMSA sports car season is getting underway this weekend with their biggest race of the year, the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona. This race has a history going back to 1962 for the first 3-hour endurance race at Daytona and 1966 for the 24-hour race. In 2025 we have 4 classes and a lot of cars, teams and drivers on display. We have 4 classes of car, the hypercars, which have taken the sports car scene by storm, a pretty amazing quality of driver in LMP2, and the always exciting GTD Pro and GTD classes. Let's take a look at every car announced for the 2025 Daytona 24 Hours and give a rundown of their chances. This serves as a preview for both the 24 Hours of Daytona and the complete IMSA season. We have a lot of cars and drivers to get through, so make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. Starting with the hypercars and the many Porsche's cars on the grid. 4 in the hypercar class. Porsche will be the team to beat. They've won the Daytona 19 times, far more than any other manufacturer. Riley are second with 10, and they don't make cars anymore. And Ferrari are third with 5 wins. So in 2025, Porsche will be going for their 20th Daytona win. The Penske team won the Daytona, the IMSA Championship, the WEC Championship, and will be the team to beat in 2025. Felipe Nasr finally won the Daytona last year, and in 2025 he's joined by Nick Tandy and Lawrence Van Tor, 3 drivers definitely capable of winning it again. The other Penske has Matt Campbell, Kevin Estre and Mathieu Jaminet, again all capable of winning, but interestingly only Felipe Nasr and Matt Campbell have won the Daytona out of these drivers, and only last year. Proton Porsche have gone for a mix of young and old. Neil Jani is a winner of the Le Mans and World Endurance Championship with Porsche, and he is joined by 20-year-old Nico Pino, 25-year-old Julian Andlauer, and IndyCar driver Tristan Vautier, who has been racing in the series for 10 years. Our final Porsche is run by American team JDC Miller, and they have the only American Porsche driver with the talented Bryce Aaron, preparing for another season of Indy NXT with Formula E champion Pascal Wehrlein, experienced GT racer and former Formula 1 driver Gian Maria Bruni, with young Dutchman Tiesman van der Helm, making for, in my opinion, the best Porsche lineup in 2025. Next to the 4 Porsches, we have 3 Cadillacs. Wayne Taylor has serial endurance champion Louis Delatraz, Japanese Toyota star Kamui Kobayashi, Formula E race winner and European Le Mans champion Alex Lynn, and son of the owner and 2-time winner of the Daytona, Jordan Taylor. Whilst in the other car, they have 3-time Le Mans winner and 4-time World Endurance champion Brendan Hartley, Le Mans class winner and former Formula 1 driver Will Stevens, 2-time Daytona winner Felipe Albuquerque, and the other son of the owner, and also 2-time winner Ricky Taylor. The Wayne Taylor team actually has the most former winners of the race out of everyone. The Whelen Cadillac, meanwhile, has an international mix with Jack Aitken, Felipe Drogovic, Frederick Vesti, and Earl Bamber sharing the car. A very strong lineup made up of an if brief, Formula 1 driver, a Formula 2 champion, a Formula 2 runner-up, and a Le Mans winner. BMW have grabbed Kevin Magnussen from Formula 1 and joined him with longtime BMW employees Philip Eng, Rafael Marcello, and Dries Van Tor, with the other car filled with DTM champions Marco Wittmann, Rene Rast, and Sheldon van der Linde, with DTM runner-up and Formula E driver Robin Freins. Can either of these cars take BMW's first Daytona win since 1976? Maybe. Acura have 2 interesting lineups: IndyCar legend Scott Dixon, IndyCar drivers Felix Rosenqvist and Tom Blomqvist, and Colin Braun, who did an IndyCar race once. Whilst in the other car they have 3-time IndyCar champion Alex Palou, 2-time Daytona winner Renger van der Zande, Aston Martin F1 simulator driver Nick Yelloy, and young Super Formula star Kakanoushi Ota? He's good, but it feels a bit random. Finally, there is the sole Lamborghini entry driven by former Formula 1 and IndyCar driver Romain Grosjean, former Formula 1 driver Daniel Kvyat, current DTM champion Mirko Bortolotti, and Formula E race winner Eduardo Mortara. A decent lineup, but Lamborghini haven't achieved much in the hypercar class yet, and they still feel like the backmarker team. Every one of these lineups is very strong, and honestly, they are all capable of winning. It's going to be a very tight, interesting race, and I would expect some drama. Can someone stop Porsche from winning? I think so. I think we're going to see a Cadillac win, possibly the one driven by Delatraz, Taylor, Kobayashi and Lynn. Everyone in that car knows how to win endurance races, and it just feels like Louis Delatraz is collecting all of the endurance racing accolades right now. Honestly though, anyone can win. It's a very tough race to predict, Aston Martin are going to be racing in the IMSA at some point in 2025, but they are not racing at Daytona. No drivers announced for the Valkyrie yet, but I imagine it'll be a similar lineup to whoever turns up in their World Endurance appearances. On to LMP2, also with 12 entries. United Autosports is the only team in LMP2 with 2 entries, and it's a mixed bunch. Ben Handley and Oliver Jarvis in one car, Paul di Resta with James Allen in the other, joined by refugees from other IMSA entries like Nick Bowl and Dan Goldberg. Algarve Pro have IndyCar star Colton Herta with Toby Sowery, George Kurtz and Malte Jacobsen, all of which have been on the podium in various classes at Daytona. Tara Motorsports have the experience of Sebastian Bourdais and European Le Mans runner-up Sebastian Alvarez. And John Ferrano won the 2022 IMSA LMP2 Championship with Tower. TDS have WEC drivers Mikael Jensen and Charles Malaysia, with former Indy NXT runner Hunter McElroy. ERA have a mix of 4 random drivers, Paul Loup Chatin being the best of them. Into Europol have Tom Dillman and Antonio Felix da Costa, both of whom have been very successful in the last few years. Matthias and Motorsport have Ben Keating, who's a multiple-time winner in the IMSA, with failed IndyCar driver Benjamin Pedersen and successful European GT racer Matthias Beck. Pratt Miller have IndyCar driver Callum Ilott, with former IndyCar and Formula 1 driver Pietro Fittipaldi. Felipe Massa and Felipe Fraga are at Riley, a former overall winner, but in the LMP2 class nowadays. AF Corsa have Luis Perez Compang, Mathieu Vaxavier, and last year's Le Mans winner Nicholas Nielsen. And AO Racing have got last year's overall winner Dane Cameron, with last year's European Le Mans Series champion Johnny Edgar, 2023 Indy NXT champion Christian Rasmussen, and PJ Hyatt, who is basically okay. A very talented field of drivers in LMP2, and it's just as good as the hypercar class in terms of overall quality. I think we'll see a win for Algarve Pro, a team that has been strong everywhere they go in recent years, and 4 very good drivers on their team easily could take the LMP2 class at Daytona. 3 Chevrolet Corvettes in the GTD Pro class, but the one I'm keeping a keen eye on is the TF Sport entry with Shane van Gisbergen and Scott McLaughlin teaming up to conquer the Daytona. Never have superpowers on this scale combined to become such an awesome, unstoppable force. There's no reason to mention anyone else taking part, but out of fairness, I will. 2 other Corvettes through Pratt and Miller, and they have a lot of the usual faces: Nicky Katzberg, Tommy Milner, Antonio Garcia, Daniel Juncadella, Alexander Sims. Not much different from their usual lineup, and they'll be up there somewhere. Heart of Racing Aston Martin, a couple of Paul Miller BMWs, 1 Lamborghini, 1 Lexus, a couple of Porsche GTs for Proton and AO, Ford Mustangs, and a couple of Mercedes, one of which is run by 75 Express with Mara Engel, Jules Gounon, Michael Grenier, and Kenny Habel. I can see that one on the podium with a Corvette or 2. It's a pretty normal GT field, but it's been a great GT field for years in the IMSA, and with 15 pro entries and 22 not pro entries, there are plenty of GT cars to have some fantastic racing in this field. Same cars in GTD, but a lot more Ferraris, 7 of them in fact, along with 3 Aston Martins, 2 Corvettes, 2 Porsches, 3 Mercedes, 2 Lamborghinis, a Lexus, a Ford, and a BMW. I don't know why Ferraris are so popular in 2025. It's usually Porsche and Mercedes that win by attrition. Some great drivers in this class as well: Antonio Falchio, James Collado, Carl Kirkwood, Parker Thompson, Marvin Kirchhoffer, Daniel Serra, Pippa Durrani, Arthur Leclerc, Lucas Ara, Ralph Aaron, and many, many others who you could call absolute quality. If I had to pick a winner, I guess the Cetilar Ferrari, driven by Antonio Falchio, Nicola Lacorte, Roberto Lacorte, and Lorenzo Patrese, because with 7 cars, chances are it'll be a Ferrari, so why not the one with Antonio Falchio, and the son of former Formula 1 driver Riccardo Patrese, Lorenzo, who I've never had a chance to mention before. So that is the field taking part in the 2025 24 Hours of Daytona, the start of the IMSA Sports Car Championship. I'm really looking forward to this one. The IMSA has one of the best fields in motorsport. Every driver lineup is quality. I am overwhelmed by how good this field is for this race. I have almost nothing negative to say. Tatiana Calderon is racing, but apart from that, nothing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Porsche will win a 20th Daytona 24 Hours? Who will win in the other classes? Make sure you subscribe for more motorsport. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.